Hello and welcome to another Java response video. Today we're going to be looking at a comment that was made that is about in response to the J scroll bars. His question was, if I have a J panel with too many buttons on it so they go out of frame, can I use it there? If so, how? Okay, so this is a kind of an interesting question, because in the video I did mention that you can use it for buttons, and so with this program I wrote, you can do exactly just that. So if I press F6 run, you can see that I have created a program where you have buttons, right, and you can scroll through them because the buttons themselves are actually going out of frame. So I have a J scroll bar, so you can scroll through the J panel. And so basically all I did, it wasn't anything fancy, was that I just used the scroll bars and just kind of attach them to a J panel, because in the video I used a J text area to represent the functionality of the scroll bar, but for this I'm using a panel instead. And so essentially it will just, if the panel itself is extending past the frame, it will put the scroll bar there. And so I said vertical scroll bar never, because it's not necessary, and the horizontal scroll bar is needed. So if the J the J buttons, the J panel does not extend past the J frame, then there's no need to actually have the scroll bar. But if it does, then it will include it, and that means that the contents on the J panel are probably extending past the J frame as well. So it is quite necessary to see all of the components. And so I just added two of them, to show that you can have, multiple scrollable buttons and whatnot on a single, application. So I just had the panels and just added a bunch of buttons to them, and just set a grid layout, which I don't think I've actually ever really talked about a grid layout. But since, in fact, this is just a response video, I'm not going to go into depth with that. But of course, I'm going to be including the source code in the description of the video, so that you can actually check it out, or just copy and paste it into your, IDE, so you can fully analyze it. But essentially, it's what I did before in the other video, except I just had the J panel itself, have a scroll bar attached to it. So that's essentially it. It wasn't really too in-depth, but I felt that it was a little bit difficult to explain in text. So don't worry about this being kind of more of a short little tidbit, because this is a Java response video. But next episode, probably going to be talking about J internal frames, which is a frame within a frame within a frame, which is a little bit difficult to study on, read about. But since I have done it a lot in the past, I might as well create a video on it, because it's a lot easier to explain visually. Alright, so if you learned something, like it, or possibly add it to favorites. If you have any questions, further questions about how to, other things that you can implement a J scroll pane onto, then by all means put in the comments, and I'll probably respond to it as fast as humanly possible. Might be an exaggeration, but I'll try to respond. Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for next episode on J internal frames.